universe, so beautiful. Through all of the hurt, we'll stand invincible, so beautiful. We'll take on the world. 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 We'll take on the world.
Business. I didn't know what it was, and I had lots of ideas of like products and all kinds of things. But I was like, I really want to have my own business. So I started this Instagram account kind of for a few reasons. One was because I wanted to, from having my second child, I was like, I finally worked out what I could wear to breastfeed in. I think one of the biggest shocks when having my first baby, I was like, oh, wicked, I can wear my clothes again, and then realising I couldn't wear any of my clothes again because I was breastfeeding and my body had changed. So I was like, oh, maybe there must be other women in the situation I was in that first maternity leave, working out what they could wear to breastfeed in. So if I maybe post a few outfits, then that would help them, and it will help me because it would mean that I'll be keeping my outfits interesting. And I felt like I kind of lost my identity a bit on my first maternity leave because I was just a bit like, what is this? Not just grabbing, and clothes is part of my identity, so I was just like grabbing clothes, and it wasn't, just wasn't me. And then, so there was that, and then I kind of, I don't know, there was different things happening. So I started doing the outfits, and then also these, I met this woman in this lift it was like in Shoreditch House, so it was really cool. She was really, really cool woman, and she was like, got on the lift, and she literally looked me up and down. She's like, "Is that your kid?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You don't look like a mum, you don't dress like a mum." And I was like, "Well," I was like, and then she just got out the lift. I was like, what just happened? And so I was like, "Yeah, I do dress like a mum," and loads of mums look really cool, and they still they're mums. So the other idea for Dress Like a Mum was going to be more street style. So I was going to go and photograph mums on the, prove that actually everyone can dress really well. But then that was really hard because I went out to do it and I was like, oh, I just felt one really cool mum, and I was like, oh, I'm going to disturb her. She doesn't really want me. Yeah, and so I was like, okay, this isn't going to work. I just smiled at her and then I was like, okay, I'll take photos of my own outfits, but it was only about the outfits, so I chopped my head off, and then everyone was like, no, we need to see your face. I was like, oh, okay, here's my face, and but I didn't really like my photos taken, so I was trying to make it funny, and I was like, why are fashion people so serious? So there's all these different things. And because I knew how to build a brand, I kind of applied that knowledge, and then I didn't, I took voluntary redundancy off my job, and didn't go back. So during maternity leave, I was plugging away, and I had this kind of grid format, which I can come to later, but I was kind of plugging away, and then I was kind of in this situation where I'd got 1,000 followers or something, which was insane. And I remember telling my mates, I've got 1,000 followers. They're like, what, really? I was like, yeah, 1,000 people. They were like, what? Can't believe it. And then it was I did businesses, so there was a lot again of small businesses emerging on Instagram, and they were quite up for giving me stuff, or they were like, oh, could we send your kid a t-shirt, because and they were just like me, they were women who'd started businesses on maternity leave, and I was like, yeah, sure, send me a t-shirt. But then I was I started writing about these brands, and I was like, hang on a minute, these posts are taking me at least a day. I don't have any childcare, so I'm working till 1 in the morning writing about someone else's business. How can I all I wanted at that point was to have enough money to pay a day's childcare, so I could actually do stuff, and I wouldn't have to stay up all night and work. And so actually I think at this point I decided not to go back to work. I kind of orchestrated voluntary redundancy in that I knew that they were making redundancies, and I knew that they couldn't make me redundant. So I kind of played, I was like, definitely coming back, I'm definitely coming back. And they're like, okay. I was like, but if you really need to make my position redundant. I'll consider it, but I'm definitely coming back. I'm really excited. And then they were like, oh, okay, so we've thought about it. If you do want to take it, I was like, oh, that's that. And I was like in this meeting, like, oh, that's a real shame. Inside, I was like, yes, because that like bit of cash gave me enough money to like just to get on with it, you know. And like I kind of divided it over like a few months, and that was like kind of paid, well, like mortgage. And yeah, so that was when these small businesses, and I was like, okay, so maybe if I made a package from, you know, so I say it depended on the business and what they wanted, but like say for like, I can't remember how much it was, like say between 100 and 350 pounds, you're a small business, and from that you'll get a blog post, a Facebook post, an Instagram post, like a tweet, like you'll get this lump of content, and then I'm your kind of like that's like the package you can buy off me. And it worked really well because the small businesses could see real value in that, because my 1,000, or I guess like there's 5,000 maybe by this point, they were all mums, and so they were really engaged, and they're exactly the right audience for these small businesses. So so these little like packages that I was selling, whereas then enabling me to get a bit of childcare, and then a little bit of childcare I was getting enabled, like it kind of became this like business of its own. And then I got contacted, I think by Clarks was one of the first brands, and they were like, oh, can we send you some shoes? I was like, yeah, like awesome, like I've got shoes, like this is cool. And then M&S came to me, and they were like, because I'd worn these Marks and Spencer's dungarees, and they'd sold out, like, because they were just, at the time, they were these perfect dungarees. So they must have seen the effect that I'd had on these dungarees, and I was like, oh, like, I think I went to the press show, and I met them, and I was like, oh, if you ever want to, like, work with me. And that was the other thing, like, I put in the time massively, like, networking. Like, so if it was a brand and they were having a press show, if there was an event, I would go and I would talk to the PRs, and I'd introduce myself, and I'd explain what I was doing, my background, like, I'd get to know everyone. So it was, you know, it took a lot of time, and there wasn't any money, but it was really, really important, because all those relationships was just me just being friendly and just you know, just saying what I was doing. And they, I think, then really appreciated that. And then like a week later they were like, oh yeah, so here's like, they gave me like something like a £400 voucher from Marks and Spencer's, and I was like, oh my god. And by this point we were like, we'd kind of run out, like the redundancy money would run out, and like the packages would go, but my husband was like, really, like you really, I was like, yeah, like I think I can do them. I went to a lot as well, I went to a lot of these things called MUDS meetings, and they do like business clubs and stuff, so I was kind of surrounding myself with quite a lot of like motivated women, and just kind of like everyone was like, yeah, you can do this, and like have no doubt, and that was really, I think, instrumental in my success, because everyone was just like, yeah, we can do this, like, can we? We're like, yeah, okay, let's do this. Like, you know, a really supportive network of women. We've just kind of kept together and swapped skills, and they're like, well, I can do that, and you can, you know, I'm a graphic designer, will you do this for me and I'll do that for you, like, no problem. And I get, well, it depends. So like, I'm at this, so right now, so on Monday I was told a few of you that my husband starts shared parental leave. So for the last 10 months, I've been full-time, I've been on maternity leave, but I haven't. I've just kind of been ticking things over, in which case, like, a lot of things just have to be really quick because I don't have time. But from now on, I think I'm gonna go back more to a grid, like a kind of organised content plan, so like people will know, like make it more of a magazine, make it more of like, this might dress like a mum Instagram. And then I'm also launching the accessories brand as well, which is DLAM. But that didn't answer your question. They can take me, it takes quite a long time. Yeah. Like, because firstly, like say one post, I mean, if it's just me and my shoes, that can be quite quick. And if I'm in a mood where I can think of something to write, that can be quite good. But sometimes you're like, just not funny today. I'll definitely reply to more comments, like more DMs, that kind of thing. I think, yeah, like networking in real life as well, you know, like being at different events is really important, you know, getting to know people, because they'll be like, oh, you know, I know this woman and she does that, and, you know, conversations like that's really, really important. But like every piece of content I would do, it would, you know, and I had rules like I would never speak about politics, I'd never speak about personal things, you know, unless there's an exception for something. And so I'd have, by having like setting myself these quite tight guidelines, it's made my brand a bit more solid kind of thing, because it would be like, well look, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, be all negative and start wearing beige, because that's not my brand, and like, but I would support this because it's a really like positive thing. And so that kind of, those kind of brand pillars and checking everything I did against those brand pillars has kept like consistency with what I've been doing, which has definitely helped me like build it, I think.
So when my second was born, you were one of the first people I followed.
Oh, thanks.
And I think it was off Clemmy Hooper, because
Oh, yeah.
I actually know her from years back. Anyway,
Cool.
and so you popped up and I was like, wow, this woman's so colourful and lovely, and it was really interesting. So I had no idea you had a strategy,
Yeah.
because to me it just seemed like it was so organic, and
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah,
great. It means it's a good strategy.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it felt so organic, and like I discovered Good News Trainers by you, and like it's
Yeah.
really interesting hearing you talk
Yeah.
about your plot. It's like
Yeah.
it's great. But it's funny because I'm now at a point where I'm sort of in the last year I've been intentionally sort of selling myself, and people are emailing me and saying, oh, will you advertise this for us? And I don't know what I am, because
Yeah.
I'm actually a brand. I do theatre for children.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people are like, oh, will you wear these eyelashes? Will you wear this glitter, eco glitter? Will you wear this? And I'm like, well, what am I? Am I a brand? Am I
Yeah.
an influencer?
Yeah.
And then I had like Nestle contact me, go, will you advertise these Lego Batman water bottles? And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
they're plastic water bottles and you're Nestle. No, and it's like, and what you're saying about overcrowded and algorithms, I just don't know, like, where
There's
it-
quite a
where
good
it's going and where it's
Yeah. I mean, no one
going.
really knows where it's going.
Yeah.
But there's a book called What's the Difference That Makes the Difference? It's like a textbook. And you kind of fill in, you're like, what would be your like ideal day? And you're like, well, that would be like da 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 da. And sorry, I didn't wait for your question, but
No,
is it
go
to
on.
do with like,
Well, it's kind of the question is kind of like you say, it's very overcrowded, and I can see
Yeah.
that because there was you tagging Dressed Like a Mum, and at
Yeah.
the same time I was following Anna Motherfucker, and suddenly like people are copying your hashtags to create something that's pretty identical,
yeah,
but not. So it's kind of, I guess my question is, where is it going? It hasn't reached its peak.
yeah,
So A, am I too late to the game if I want to
yeah,
become an influencer, if that's what people are calling me, or do I just carry on advertising my brand, or do I just carry on being me,
yeah.
like you're saying, and see what happens? Because
I think
it's like
you
I
could-
just don't know where it's going.
I mean, I don't think it's going anywhere yet. I think one day, yeah, it might all just be like, what was that with?
Yeah.
Like, it feels so like 2018. But I think Instagram's not going anywhere really, and I think it's amazing for small businesses. I think there's a couple of people. The one, the Modern Nursery, she does it quite well in that she probably like you. She's got her really big following on her business, and now brands are thinking, well, she's quite an interesting businesswoman. Can we tap her? So in her instance, she's split now her accounts.
So that's
To
the
be
thing,
the
I don't know
modern
where to
nursery.
split. because
But then
there's-
you're, so yeah, I mean, back to the textbook, that might make you think what you're about. So like, you know, advertising eco glitter, if you're a kids entertainer, could be really relevant. So
and
like,
it is, which is why it works as a good collaboration.
exactly,
But
and
then-
you know that because of your brand pillars that you've
Yeah.
set, and you can check it. You know, the plastic water bottles, like, no, but that's fine because you know that it's not going to work. But it wouldn't be detrimental to your brand to be promoting glitter, and your followers it would be relevant to. So I think you can definitely
Can do both.
you can do both, yeah, as long as you're clear on what your brand is about and your personal
So I think
brand.
that-
It's definitely helped me make decisions.